Once upon a time, 5 teenagers with attitude saved the world. But behind the spandex and sparks were real people with real stories. Some of them left us too soon. Today, we're paying tribute to 10 Power Rangers actors who are no longer with us. The voices, the faces, the unsung legends behind the Morphing Grid. Some were heroes on screen, some behind the mic, some left us quietly, but each of them helped shape the legacy we still love today. This one's for them. This one's for every IE and every It's Morphin Time. Let's begin. And Bob Manahan, the voice of Zordon. He didn't throw punches or wear a helmet, but Bob Manahan was the heartbeat of the Morphing Grid. As the voice of Zordon, Bob gave life to a glowing tube with wisdom that could rival Master Yoda's, but with more lasers. His booming baritone didn't just tell the Rangers to recruit teenagers with attitude, he became the franchise's spiritual core. Though David Fielding physically portrayed Zordon in Season 1, it was Bob's voice, calm, commanding, and kind, that echoed across generations. Outside the command center, Bob was an Emmy-winning sound editor, basically a wizard of audio. He worked behind the scenes of shows like Dynasty and Picket Fences, mastering sound the way Zordon mastered the universe. But in 2000, Bob passed away from a heart aneurysm, and fans were stunned. His loss was honored in Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue with a tribute message that left many misty-eyed. His final moment, sacrificing himself in Power Rangers in Space to eliminate all evil, was made legendary by Bob's voice. Even now, when fans hear Alpha, bring them to the command center, it's Bob Manahan we remember. Always watching, always guiding. Hammer 9, Thuy Trang. The original Yellow Ranger. Trini wasn't just the Yellow Ranger. She was the soul of the original team. Calm, intelligent, and always ready to leap into action. She brought balance to a team full of loud personalities and larger-than-life powers. Thuy Trang played her with fierce energy and grace, doing many of her own stunts thanks to her martial arts background. As a Vietnamese-American actress in early 90s television, Thuy shattered stereotypes and gave countless kids someone to look up to. She left the show during Season 2 amid contract disputes, but her impact never left fans. She went on to appear in films like The Crow, City of Angels, building a budding career that was tragically cut short. In 2001, Thuy died in a car accident at just 27. The crash also injured another former Ranger, Angela Rockwood, making it all the more heartbreaking. When Once and Always aired in 2023, it delivered the tribute she so deeply deserved. Trini's daughter became a new Ranger, carrying on her legacy. Thuy Trang may be gone, but her courage, elegance, and power live on through every Yellow Ranger that followed, and every fan she inspired. 8. Machiko Soga, Super Sentai footage. Before Power Rangers was even a thought in the US, Super Sentai had Machiko Soga, the queen of over-the-top villainy. As Bandora in Kyoryu Sentai Zyuranger, her performance was so iconic, Saban had to use her footage for Rita Repulsa. She didn't speak English, but that didn't matter. Her eyes, hand gestures, and that glorious cackle transcended language. Machiko turned Rita into a force of evil and camp that haunted our childhoods and delighted us at the same time. "Make my monster grow!" became her war cry. And a universal signal that it was time for the Megazord to show up and throw hands. Despite being dubbed over by Barbara Goodson in the English version, Machiko's presence was the foundation of Rita's chaotic brilliance. Later, in Mystic Force, she returned to the franchise as the ancient and wise Magiel, a surprising full-circle moment for longtime fans. Sadly, in 2006, she passed away from pancreatic cancer, leaving behind a legacy of villainy that few could ever match. She may have been dubbed, but make no mistake, Machiko Soga's face, flair, and energy defined the franchise's first and fiercest villainess. Edward Lawrence Albert, Mr. Collins, Time Force. Not every Power Rangers character wore a color-coded suit, but some still left a big impact, like Mr. Collins, the wealthy, workaholic father of Wes, the Red Time Force Ranger. Played by Edward Lawrence Albert, Mr. Collins began as your classic corporate ice cube, but over time, he thawed into one of the show's most layered emotional characters. Albert, son of Hollywood legend Eddie Albert, brought surprising gravitas to the role. He wasn't just a one-note rich guy. He was a father learning how to love his son in a world that didn't slow down for feelings. Their evolving relationship gave Time Force its emotional backbone. Outside the Morphin Grid, Edward Albert was an actor, activist, and passionate environmentalist. He starred in everything from Butterflies Are Free to Power Rangers with the same heart. Sadly, in 2006, he passed away from lung cancer at the age of 55, way too soon. But his portrayal reminded us that being a hero isn't about spandex or superpowers. Sometimes it's about changing, growing, and showing up for the people you love. And honestly, that's pretty Ranger-worthy. 6. Richard Janelle. Ernie, the juice bar owner, expanded. Richard Janelle, who played Ernie, ran the Angel Grove Youth Center, aka the unofficial Ranger HQ. Ernie wasn't a fighter, but let's be real, he was basically the team's emotional support adult. Need a space to train in peace? Ernie's got it. Need a post-battle banana smoothie? Already blended. He appeared in over 100 episodes, always serving up snacks and smiles. Fans loved his laid-back energy, and his presence made Angel Grove feel like an actual town, not just a monster-targeted war zone. Behind the scenes, Richard battled his own struggles. He left the show to focus on losing weight and improving his health, showing courage that rivals any Red Ranger. Sadly, in 2008, Richard passed away from a heart attack at just 47 years old. Fans were heartbroken. He may not have worn a spandex suit, but his impact was huge. He was the glue between battles, the comfort between chaos. In a world of intergalactic threats and time-traveling villains, Ernie reminded us that kindness, that's a superpower all its own. 5. Peta Rudder. Udana, the White Mystic Ranger. Udana wasn't your average ranger. She wasn't a teen, she wasn't new, and she wasn't here for small talk. Played with quiet power by Peta Rudder, Udana was the icy enchantress of Power Rangers' mystic force. As the White Mystic Ranger, she combined elegance with deadly spellcasting. Think Snow Queen meets Jedi Master. Udana was a mentor, a mother figure, and a straight-up magical badass. Her snowy aesthetic and calm wisdom grounded a show that leaned hard into fantasy. Peta Rudder brought poise and authenticity to every scene, making even the most out-there moments feel real. Her scenes with Nick, who turned out to be her long-lost son, packed an emotional punch you don't usually expect in a kids' show about capes and explosions. Then, in 2010, the unthinkable. Just 2 weeks after being diagnosed with a brain tumor, Peta passed away at 50. The fandom was blindsided. Her loss hit especially hard because her character deserved more story, more screen time, more magic. But what she gave? It was unforgettable. She didn't just cast spells. She was one. A ranger, a mentor, a mother, a legend in white. #4. Grant McFarland. Lothar Sensei Watanabe. Let's talk range. Grant McFarland pulled off what few in the Power Rangers universe could. He played 2 major roles, both unforgettable. As Lothar, the campy, egotistical space ninja villain in Ninja Storm, Grant leaned into the chaos. He was hilarious, hammy, and weirdly lovable for a guy trying to take over the world. His insults? Iconic. His delivery? Impeccable. His fashion sense? Bold choices, sir. But plot twist, Grant also played Sensei Watanabe, the wise martial arts master who spent most of the season as a guinea pig. Yep, a literal furball of knowledge. And somehow, he made that work. He was calm, thoughtful, and carried real gravitas, even when digitally squeaking life lessons. Later, Grant returned to the franchise in Power Rangers Samurai as a completely different character, flexing even more of his acting muscles. But in 2018, fans learned he had passed away. And just like that, one of the franchise's most versatile performers was gone. His characters were polar opposites, chaotic evil and Zen master, but both are burned into fan memory. Grant McFarland wasn't just a double act. He was a one-man legacy. 3. Pua Magasiva. Shane, the Red Wind Ranger. Expanded. Shane Clark was everything a Red Ranger should be. Cocky, passionate, and just the right amount of rebel. As the face of Ninja Storm, Pua Magasiva brought that too cool for school energy with layered vulnerability underneath. A surfer with a sense of responsibility? That's growth, baby. Shane's journey from goof-off to full-fledged leader gave the series emotional depth. And Pua? He nailed it. His smile could melt Megazord metal, and his chemistry with the cast made every team-up feel like family. Off-screen, Pua became a household name in New Zealand, acting, hosting, and staying connected with fans. But under that charm, Pua was struggling. In 2019, after facing personal and legal issues, including allegations of domestic abuse, he tragically died by suicide. He was just 38. His passing rocked the fandom. It was painful, complex, and heartbreaking. It reminded us that heroes on screen can be hurting off it, that the strongest smiles can hide the deepest pain. His legacy remains complicated, but his performance as Shane is still beloved. He was our Red Ranger, full of fire, flaws, and humanity. 2. Robert Axelrod, the voice of Lord Zedd expanded. Zedd was nightmare fuel. The exposed muscles, the metal grill over his mouth, the booming voice that shook your bones. And that voice? That was Robert Axelrod, the man who made Zedd terrifying with just a growl and some serious vocal cords. Introduced in Season 2, Zedd was meant to replace Rita as the franchise's big bad, and boy did he deliver. He wasn't just evil, he was extra. Fans were both scared and obsessed. And Axelrod didn't stop with Zedd. He voiced Finster, random monsters of the week, and even iconic roles in other franchises like Digimon and Masked Rider. The man was a vocal chameleon. Outside of the booth, Robert was a gentle soul who loved connecting with fans at conventions. But his health declined in his later years, and in 2019, he passed away. The fandom mourned, not just because we lost a voice, but because we lost the voice. His work shaped childhoods, soundtracked playtime battles, and made villains so good they were bad. Robert Axelrod didn't just voice Lord Zedd, he was Lord Zedd. And that voice still echoes, deep, dark, and legendary. 1. Jason David Frank, Tommy Oliver, the Goat Ranger. Knew this one was coming. Jason David Frank wasn't just a Power Ranger, he was Power Rangers. As Tommy Oliver, he wore almost every color in the Morphin: rainbow, green, white, red, black. If Sabin had created a plaid ranger, he'd have worn that too. Introduced in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Tommy was the bad boy turned leader, turned lifelong legend. He battled evil clones, led teams across generations, and somehow made a ponytail look cool. Off-screen, JDF was a real martial artist, a devoted father, and a fan favorite who never stopped showing up at conventions, online, and in our hearts. But behind that unstoppable energy, Jason struggled. He battled mental health issues for years. And in November 2022, the unthinkable happened. JDF died by suicide. The news hit like a gut punch to a generation. We didn't just lose an actor. We lost a hero. The fandom rallied in grief and gratitude. Murals were painted, videos were made, tributes poured in. Because Tommy wasn't just a ranger. He was the ranger. Once a ranger, always a ranger. And Jason? He'll always be the greatest of all time. Being a ranger isn't about the suit. It's about heart. And every person we honored today had it, in every line they delivered, every scene they powered through, and every fan they inspired. Though they may no longer walk among us, their legacy is eternal, morphing into memories, inspiration, and the magic that keeps us coming back. If one of these legends meant something, to drop their name in the comments and tell us why. And hey, if you grew up shouting Dragonzord in your living room, you're not alone. Hit like, subscribe, and share this with a fellow Ranger who needs a little nostalgia today. Once a Ranger, always a Ranger. Rest in power.